pretty sure they don't know what that means. They're Boy Scouts. Bop, dooba-da, dooba, bop, dooba-da, dooba, doo, bop, dooba-da. I don't have to change a damn word.
This is stupid.
Why? Birds of Paradise is getting a reprint.
What?
Yeah, Birds of Paradise is getting a reprint. Bop. Get it?
Yeah, I get B.O.P. Yes.
Yeah, B.O.P. Bop.
It's getting a reprint though?
Yeah, it's getting a reprint in the new guild kits.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So the guild kits came out this week. We're not going to talk about it, but Bop, Birds of Paradise is getting a reprint.
I just learned something today.
I've been holding on to this song since Dominaria.
That's crazy.
It's one of those songs where like, I got this one ready. I got 3 in the I've been sitting on this forever.
So Hanson.
Yeah.
Bop.
Great. That was fantastic.
So stupid. That's so easy. You're such a cop-out. I can't believe it. That's ridiculous.
It was an amazing idea.
All right, welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
Who's super jealous. And I'm Lowery.
I'm not jealous at all. Oh, don't worry.
We are cousins.
Hey, we didn't do that on our battle boxes.
That's all right.
We totally forgot.
I was like waiting for you to stop talking, and I couldn't jump in because
then you forgot.
You kept going. And then I have the memory of like a bird of a brain, of a bird brain. Get it?
Bop.
Bop.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, we did do battle boxes.
Did we say this is episode 49?
Oh, this is episode 49. But
and then you can also find us on
CommanderSmiths.
And then I did that wrong. That was my fault. You can find us on YouTube at
CommanderSmiths.
You can find us on Twitter at
CommanderSmiths.
And you can email us at
CommanderSmiths.
Gmail. There
Gmail.
we go.
You can find us at CommanderSmiths.
Whatever you want.
Because normally I'm the one that does it. And
I know.
You're the one, so
I'm just here to say things.
Okay. So we did just get done. It's late for us because we just got done doing battle boxes.
It's a great excuse, yeah.
Not going to spoil anything. The only thing I'm going to spoil is there was a cement mixer involved with
Somebody
this
took
one.
a cement mixer.
And it is interesting,
Did
right?
Lowery finally win value out of the battle box?
Did you get
right
out
now?
of
I'm
the
like 5-0 or 05?
Yeah, 0-5.
So where did I'm real bad at opening boxes for some. It is. So did I finally break out?
You'll have to check that video out. We will have that later this week, or actually probably we'll tag it with this podcast. This podcast will come out first, and then once we get the video up and running, we'll tag that on the podcast.
So just check us out, and then you can.
If you subscribe to us on YouTube, you can. Then you'll see it popping up there. So it's interesting. I love this style that we do with it.
It's much more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah. Anyways, this week, what are we doing for episode 49?
So we both had separate pre-release experiences.
Yeah, weird. Really weird, because this is the first time I went to a pre-release and I didn't know a damn person there.
Yeah, I like it a lot more when you're there to be able to like hold my hand when I lose my first match, and then you're like, it's all right, Lowery.
It's okay. You'll come back. So we did that. I did mine on Friday. You did yours today.
Sunday.
So you had a magic day.
It's been a good day.
Yeah. And then we're going to get into Commander Spotlights.
I built the Nikya deck with only creatures and land.
This is going to be awesome.
So
I'm excited to see this deck go. And then we'll finish up with our Smith Specs of the week. But let's first, how did everything go for you for pre-release?
Pre-release was a lot of fun. There was a ton of good games on my side. I picked Orzhov because everybody else was picking Orzhov.
Yeah, well, I texted you after Friday, and I was like, pick Orzhov. It's the strongest one. Like, I felt like that was strongest, and Rakdos was the second strongest because the amount of creatures and direct damage stuff. But how'd your games go?
You know what? The first match, I kind of just the Hydroid Crassus, the guy pulled it in game 1 and 2.
Such a good card.
Yeah, and it just kind of wrecked me. Like, it's hard to come back in limited from that.
How much did he cast it?
The first game it was a 4/4, so he drew 2 cards, gained 2 life, not a big deal. But the second game I was winning, and it was a 10-10. So he gained 5 life, drew 5 cards, and then like went up to where my life total was, and I was just like, I can't race this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so he just kind of dominated. And then he was holding on. He had 2 of the mythic angels that have flash, and when they come into play,
That's insane.
Yeah. So he's just sitting on that just in case. And I was just like, you should have probably just played that and just beat the crap out of me with it. He's like, you're probably right.
That's crazy. So he was playing 3 colors then, huh?
Yeah.
Simic with the splash of white.
Yeah, and I was Orzhov, so black white with a splash of blue, about even, but it was kind of a no-brainer for me because I got a black white shockland, a blue white shockland, and then 2 guild gates of each blue white and black white.
Nice.
And then
nice with the shocks.
Yeah, and the blue was pretty nice for the evasion. And I had a lot of flyers in that realm.
So did you get anything that fit in your deck, like rare wise, besides your foil?
No, yeah, I only got Teysa, and I think that was the only rare I played.
That's all. I only got my foil pre-release rare for my deck. Everything else was off color. So, but then you won second match.
Second match I won, yeah, and that, I mean, again, really good. That one was Rakdos, dude, before I even had a creature, I play a creature, and then he stole it, and then hit me for 7. I was at 13 with, no real creature. I was like, oh, geez, I'm in trouble here. And I was able to battle my way back with, Dovin's Acuity, the one where you gain 2 life and draw a card. I was able to, play it and then kill one of his creatures to bring it back to and then just, slowly gain back an advantage that way, because he was running out of cards really quick.
Nice. So then you ended up winning. Did you win 2-0?
Yeah, I went 2-0 with that
nice.
one. Yeah, 2-0 on that one, but it was really close. Both games I was down to 4.
Oh.
And then I had, because I had a lot of flyers that were 1 power.
Mm-hmm.
And so in his at Rakdos, they got a lot of 5 3s.
Yeah.
And there's a 6/5 that was just wrecking face on me, but it was coming down later. And so I'm 1, 2 damage, and he's 6. I'm block, I lose a creature. It was kind of starting to get a little brutal.
So did you have a lot of the afterlife stuff in yours?
I did not.
You didn't get a lot of that.
I got 2 of the uncommons that are afterlife 2.
Mm-hmm. And then the
but
chick,
that
the
same
2-1.
guy, the Rakdos guy, where I got to play it a lot. He had there's a instant that exiles target creature with power 3 or less.
Yep.
And he was able to do that on my afterlife card, so I didn't even end up with.
Oh, you didn't get your guys
with the afterlife. Yeah. So that was pretty solid against me.
Yeah,
I will admit that.
And then what was your third game?
Third game was against a Simic splashing red, and that one I got mana screwed on the first game. I was at 2 in my hand, and then I didn't draw anything for 4 turns, no land. But he was at 3 with no lands. We were just well, we're just gonna try. And ended up, he just kind of rolled me on that one because he was playing a lot of I said Simic, but it was more of a riot deck. So he would just haste and get it in, and before
That's
I could remove something.
Just get it in.
It's a riot. He had some really cool plays and good turns, but I was just able to attrition out with enough removal spells that there's a 6 mana sorcery that's in black that destroy target creature, deal 2 damage. And that kind of just helped me get there a little bit because I was able to play multiple creatures in a turn.
So you ended
Afterlife
up going
gives
2 wins after that. You beat them both the next. So you went 2-1.
So I went 2-1 in the matches, and it was a really good time. So I hope people were able to get out there.
And any notable rares and stuff besides the Shocklands?
I got 2 Shocklands, and then I got the Teysa as my foil pre-release, and I was pretty happy about that.
I want that.
Yeah.
Well, I went 3-0.
And you were Orzhov, black, white, straight, right?
There was a crap ton of removal that I had. I actually got those same destroy creature things that you had.
Yeah.
I had 2 of them.
That
and
deal 2 damage.
I didn't even play them because
Really?
I had such better. I had Mortify. I had the 2-drop one where it's black and white. What is it?
Sacrifice a permanent or
5 life or I had that. I had creatures that did it. I had the remove with a creature with 3 or less, power.
Oh, exile.
I had that.
So my problem was I had 2 of those that exile with power 3 or less, but I read it as converted mana cost.
Oh,
which is a very big difference because somebody they exiled my Teysa, and I was like, you can do that? I was like, oh yeah. I was hoping that Teysa would stick around and block a ton, but just was exiled. And I was like, oh, brutal.
Yeah. So then I actually had a ton of the Afterlife stuff. I got two of those, the 2-1 Vigilance one. I had 2 5-3s that had Afterlife 2. I had... It just, there were so many things, and all my stuff had removal. So I never got below 14 life the entire, all the games, because I was gaining life too. I had a lot of the stuff that, when it came into play, target player discards a card, I gained 3 life. So I had a lot of flyers. Everything just freaking flew over everybody. So first game, I went against a Simic deck that had a splash of white in it. He got kind of mana flooded in the first game, and I killed him pretty quick. That was over in like 5 minutes. And then the second game, he kind of got mana screwed.
That's never fun when somebody like just floods or screws, and then
he was still able to do stuff. He just, because that splash of white is what was kind of throwing him off a little bit. But he had, the Simic, is it Ascendancy, the enchantment? Is that what that one's called?
The green-blue enchantment.
Yeah, he had that, and it was kind of cool because he was trying to he got 10 counters on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he got halfway there, but, I had so much flying and so much removal that I wiped out his board. So then the second game, second match, I went against another Orzhov deck, and I just had better stuff. I don't know,
that happens.
Yeah. Like he was killing my stuff, but then I had so much Afterlife that I was able to just keep running through them. He had a nice
you're
the
able to stop the the Black White Wrath.
He had the Wrath,
Kaya's Wrath.
Yeah, that's actually what it is. Yeah. Yep. But that I had a huge board presence with that, and I was about to kill him, and he played that. That was like the top card. He drew into it, but then all my stuff died, and I got more 1/1s. So it was like he killed my board, but now I have about 4 or 5 1/1s. So I was able to just run through them on that. And then game 3 went against a Rakdos deck, and I think he had a splash of something in there.
Splashing seems pretty easy in sealed. I don't. It's probably better in draft, but I have no idea.
I always typically play 2. I've never splashed. I almost did this time because you're getting such a core set because you get the guild pack and you have a lot of cards, and it's like, hey, I can maybe splash in whatever, but nothing matched because I got Domri
as your mythic.
This is my mythic in there, and I got 2 Shocklands as well, and nothing fit my colors.
Okay.
So the only rare I had was the one chick that you tap her and sacrifice 2 creatures. They sacrifice a creature, and you gain a card and get 2 mana. I think.
No, you had the card.
Yeah, I think it has a lot that it does, but that was actually pretty useful.
It's a card that I did not like and you enjoyed.
Yeah, it was actually pretty useful to wipe board because I had 7 removal between creatures and everything, and then her on top of it.
Removal is king in this kind of in a pre-release format. And stuff like that.
So first game on the finals basically is what that was. He got really mana screwed where he got 2 land. They were in his hand like you. He went 6 turns before he got his 3rd land. But I wasn't coming out crazy either. I was kind of mana screwed. I got 3 land and then I was stuck. And all my cards cost 4 that I had in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, there were some times where I was just nothing's happening for the first 1-2 turns.
Yeah.
If you were able to get anything out, you're going to be able to get 3 damage in.
But then I drew the locket. So then I got up to 4, and then all of a sudden the land started coming in, and I just ramped and killed them. So they were fun games, especially because I didn't get below 14. I was never like, oh my God, really I'm going to die.
Yeah, that sounds like awful gambling. Even though you're winning, that sounds...
But I got cool. I got the foil lands from this set, the cool little foil lands, those... with the art on the bottom, how the different art.
Oh, okay,
yeah. They're not full art, but they're cool looking foil. And I got 5 posters from each guild. And the Rakdos uncommon full art foil playset of those guys.
Firewheeler?
Yeah, Firewheeler. Yeah, got that. And then the packs and all that. So it was pretty sweet. I was happy. My value of what I paid, I tripled what I paid to get in. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wish there were more pre-release events like that.
I wish that I could make it so pre-release, like more than one.
Yeah.
I think that I know like there's people that just go to every time they can. So like a Friday night and then 2 on Saturday and one or 2 on Sunday.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'd be super burnt out by the end.
Yeah. And we'd have very angry wives if we did that.
Absolutely. Probably would be worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that, and then we did our box opening tonight. We talked about that. So now I guess we kind of get into what, Commander Spotlight?
Yeah,
a spotlight deck.
Nikya of the old ways, which is green red.
Sweet.
That is.
Oh
yeah, we're getting into it. Let's do this.
Should we talk about the card? What does your commander do? What is
Nikya of the old way is a 3 colorless red green. It's a 5/5. You can't play non-creature spells, and then it also doubles your mana for all land that is, or not doubles, but adds 1 to every land that you tap of that color.
So did you build an enchantment deck then?
Yeah.
Totally went outside the box and didn't follow what your commander does?
I am not going to play it. Yeah, I would dislike that quite a bit.
That would be funny.
There are definitely some cards where I'm like, oh, this would be awesome to play in here.
But
and
it's
they just
not.
Obviously, I trapped myself in a corner and said I would not play anything but creatures. So I wasn't able to like reach out, but really, like, it was super easy to put the deck together.
What, really?
Yeah, because I only had to go through like half my cards in color.
You text me like the next day and you're like, I cut it down to this.
I'm down to 70 cards.
And I was like, God damn it, mine's like weeks long to do it.
I'd spent like I definitely, like, last week I had it ready, and then this week I spent multiple hours like tweaking it and changing it. So when I showed it to you last week, I've probably changed about 10 cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's different from when you last saw it a little bit.
So what was some of the difficulties? Well, let's jump into it. We can talk at the end, but what are your difficulties, you think, with the...
A Wrath is just going to... Like, it feels like I'm just going to get wrecked by a Wrath.
Well, I mean, do you have enough removal to, like, if other people's stuff? So, like, enchantments and artifacts? You have that kind of covered, too?
The thing is, like, creature removal is so, like, heavy and synonymous with Commander that, like... If you need something to deal damage, like a Balefire Dragon or something, like, it's just not going to get through because people are like, well, I'm not going to let you fuck me. And they know, I feel like if somebody, I'll be able to play this once with Nikya and just ramp like crazy. And then the next game, they're going to kill Nikya. Like, people are just going to save mana or save removal to kill
because once she comes out, pretty damn powerful.
It's like some of the plays that I was able to do when I was gold fishing this deck is crazy, but we can kind of get into that later. Another week, this is probably like there's a lot of like major holes, I feel like, in my personal opinion on this one, but like I feel like I don't do anything in like till turn 3 or 4.
Okay.
Depends on the, and so what I was finding, which was really important for me, was like I didn't want to have like mana dorks that tap for 1 or 2 mana, not a ton of them, because I'm already really soft 2 creature removal.
So did you go for like
getting lands into play?
Yeah, because then that takes advantage of your Nikya, because then the creature tapping for mana is like, that doesn't double your mana.
It doesn't double your mana. Like, it helps you speed out and ramp into Nikya, but like if somebody just goes like 2 damage to all creatures, you are so far behind at that point. So it's much better to get lands into your hand or into play.
So can I see your package?
This you get to whenever you want, baby.
Ooh,
so this
nice
actual
package.
is what's supposed to help me out. It's cycling.
So we got Elvish Aberration, and that has forest cycling with it. So
I pay 2, go search for a forest, and that's essentially there are a lot of like cycling cards that help you, but these are bigger, so they help you on the back end as well. And this will tap for 3 green mana if you want. It's a 4/5. 6-drop, yeah.
Green creature. So yeah, if you need it later on in the game, it could be a big badass too. Then you got Jungle Weaver, which is a spider.
And it's cycle for 2 mana, and it's a 5/7 reach.
5/6 reach.
5/6 reach. I'm not looking at the card.
Yeah. And then you have Corrosion Tusker. And
that's cycle for 3. Go find a forest, and you get to draw a card off of that for 3 mana.
Oh yeah, that's its ability once it goes to your graveyard. When you cycle it, that's what you get to do. Nice. And then, how do we say this? Shifet monitor?
It's an Amonkhet
Chafet?
cycler, so you're paying 4, and you get to go put a basic land into play along with drawing a card.
Nice. So it does a similar thing as the Tusker.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more, but then you get to actually put it into play, which is pretty sweet. So those are your package of cycling.
And that's just kind of like, I feel like if I'm starting out the game, I need you have to have 3 mana in there, and you want something that you're going to be able to play in that round. This next package is more of like the mana ramp
Get
package.
more of your mana out.
Yeah.
So you have Oracle Moldiah. Everybody knows what that is. You get to play an extra land. You can play reveal the top card of your library.
If it's a land, put it into play as well.
Then you have Courser of Crewfix, which
Similar,
same thing, but you gain life when it comes in. Mina and Den is one of where everything began when we started actually specking.
And that allows you to put another land into play as well.
And gives trample to a creature when you return a land if you tap 2 and put it.
Red and green.
Wayward Swordtooth, so one of my picks from a couple weeks ago. And that's the Ascend thing, which is easy to get in Commander.
Yeah, it's 3 mana, 5/5. Ascend is really powerful and easy to get, super easy to get. And the other important part about this, like you could put Azusa Lost But Seeking that is a 1/2 and you get to put 2 lands into play. The thing with this though is like that's super fragile, to whereas this is actually a late game beater as a 5/5. And it's also there's a couple cards that allow me to fight in this deck as well.
So you can use it,
which allows,
because even if it can't attack or whatever, you can still use it to fight. You know. And then your last one of my favorites, Ramanap Excavator.
Just allowing myself to get the fetch lands back. And then this next package is kind of more of like my draw package that's allowing me to have more card advantage.
So you have Garruk's Horde, which is going to be nice if you have Oracle Moldiah out and Garruk's Horde. You pretty much can play every card off the top of your deck.
For a while, yeah. And then if Nikki is in play, you definitely can.
Yeah, so, and that's also with the Vizier
of the Menagerie. But you don't have to show it on that one. That one is super powerful.
Yeah, I've liked this one for a while. Was it expensive?
It's $3 or $4 right now.
But that one as well, you look at the top card of your library, may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature. So it's the same thing as Garruk's Horde. Then you have Heartwood Storyteller. Whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents draws a card. That's pretty sweet.
You kind of help other people out, but you're never going to have somebody draw off of you playing a non-creature spell because you don't have any.
Yeah.
So you're going to get much more out of that.
So then you got Ripjaw Raptor, which when he gets damaged, you get to draw a card.
And that helps with the fight mechanic a bit too.
Okay, so you're making him do damage. Nice. Soul of the Harvest, which is whenever you play a non-token creature or when it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. It also is a 6/6, which is nice.
With trample, yeah.
And then Beast Whisperer, which is an awesome card.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card.
And then Tireless Tracker, which
this card just feels like really, really always more and more powerful whenever I play with it, because whenever you put a land into play, you put a clue into play. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and that just helps you with your drawing.
And you're playing so much land you're going to get tons of clues.
Exactly,
and
if Nikki is in play, you're just tapping 1 to sacrifice that clue and draw a card. The Graveyard Recursion.
So you got Eternal Witness. Green Warden of Marasa. Then you got Felden of the Third Path, and then Scavenging Ooze to kind of destroy or to get rid of the graveyard stuff. And you're gaining life and getting counters.
Now there's another card that I was seeing other people play, which was Paleoloth, which is whenever you cast a creature with power 5 or greater, you get to bring a creature card back from your graveyard. And what I was finding with that card was, number one, it wasn't as consistent as Green Warden of Murasa at 6 mana. The other thing, it's probably more powerful, but just the consistency with Green Warden is being able to get a land back, and then if it dies, you get to bring back any other card from your graveyard. That just felt like it was going to be more consistent, but that's something that you can probably switch in and out depending on what you have.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of stuff, and I'm like, man, you could have what's the artifact that whenever you play a creature, you can scry at the beginning of your turn, the scry 1, And then, but the thing is, it's not a creature, so you can't. Like, I'm thinking of things that you could add, and I'm like, shit, you can't do that because
whenever you cast a creature, pay a green, draw
and then
a card.
You draw a card.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, damn, but you can't use that in this. So
you can.
But this was just your
because
stipulation.
in my opinion, if you had Swiftfoot Boots and the Lightning Greaves, those all come underneath. If I was going to play with.
You don't even have a Sensei's Top or a Soul Ring.
No Soul Ring.
Oh, you're one of the 1% or the 0.1% that don't have a Soul Ring in this deck.
In this type of deck, I would say anything underneath Nikya's like converted mana cost, like that's perfectly fine to play. Anything bigger, you start kind of, it's gonna just be a dead card most of the time. Even if you draw it later, it's a dead card. But if Nikya dies, you can do stuff. Not do it. You just do other stuff, hopefully.
All right, so next one is Stonehoof Chieftain. This is
a protection
commander
package.
Yeah, so then it has trample, indestructible. Whenever another creature you control attacks, it gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. So that's freaking sweet.
Like you play this, attack with your creatures, they all have indestructible, and again, Ovenwald Tracker, which we'll get to, allows you to fight. So at that point, they're indestructible. And you can potentially, if you were going to trade, you now not. It's
and it's an 8/8.
And it's an 8/8 indestructible.
Whisperwood Elemental. That's pretty sweet because what it does is at the beginning of your end step, you manifest the top of your library, which is you take the card, put it down, and it's a 2/2. If it's a creature, you can flip it
for its cost.
Its mana cost. So since everything's either lands or creatures, you can flip every single one of those cards.
Yep.
Because the problem is, if it isn't, until when it's flipped.
And so I can flip those cards for its converted mana cost. If it's a land, it just stays a 2/2, but it gives me more creatures. And the nice thing about it on the second part of the card is you can sacrifice it, and any non-token, non-manifested card that dies, you get to manifest a card off the top. And that's that protection against a Wrath. So if somebody goes to Wrath, you sacrifice it, all of your creatures basically become manifested. And so you still have a board presence afterward, and if you're able to flip them, you can flip them for that. And so that's kind of part of that protection.
Well, and the other part of manifest is like why it's kind of hard with other decks is if it's an artifact or an instant or whatever, you can't flip it.
Still but a 2/2.
You can flip, and then if you have land under there, it's like whatever, it stays a 2/2.
Yep.
Sweet. Spearbreaker Behemoth, and that one is indestructible, and you can tap. Is it one? One target creature with power 5 or greater is indestructible this turn.
Let's say you have Nikya in play, and that's at 5. And the next turn you go up to 6 mana. You can tap 4 mana for this, have 2 left over, protect Nikya with indestructible, and potentially even play like another spell. And so that is where you're having a ton of mana. You just kind of leave 1 or 2 land up, and you're able to protect all of your big creatures.
That's
with
awesome.
That in play.
And then you have Archetype of Endurance, and your creatures have hexproof. Creatures your opponents control lose hexproof and can't gain hexproof. Have or gain hexproof.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep. And then you got Teamer Sabretooth, and it's 2 and 2 green.
I can return a creature I control to my hand, and then it gains indestructible.
Nice.
And so
if you're having the stuff that has ETB stuff, you're able to do it again.
You can double it up, or you can just return Nikya back to your hand to protect it.
Yeah.
That can sit around and be blocked and blocking because it's indestructible. It's a very useful card in this kind of deck.
And then Soul of New Phyrexia. I like this card. Makes your stuff indestructible. You tap 5 permanents you control, gain indestructible until end of turn. And then if it's in your graveyard, you can exile it by tapping 5, and your permanents gain indestructible until end of turn as well. So even if it doesn't survive, you can still do it when it's in your graveyard. So that's kind of the nice thing.
This is going to be the trample package, essentially, getting your big guys through.
So you have the Kessig Wolf Run, and that is, it just taps for mana, but then you can tap a red, green X, target creature gets X+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Skarg.
And that just gives +1/+1 in trample for a green and a red.
Then Ronus, the Indomitable Snowman. It has Death Touch, but it also... It's a god, but another creature gets 2+0 and gains trample until end of turn.
And it can attack or block if you have a creature. And so and then Nylea.
God of the Hunt. That gives you can tap 4, target creature gets 2+2 until end of turn, and all your creatures have trample.
And I don't consider that cheating, even though it could be an enchantment.
Nah, it's a creature. It's a creature.
It's a creature.
And then Craterhoof Behemoth. I'm surprised you didn't add in the new one.
Well, I didn't have it. I didn't
You
add
do
in any
now.
of the new. Yeah, I do. Yeah. So one important thing that, is there are times where you're going to run out of cards or not want to play cards, and mana sinks are going to be really important. And that's Nilia and Ronus both give bonuses, or Kessig Wolf Run can dump a ton of mana into a creature while giving it trample.
Yeah,
You'll see other cards that utilize that as well in this deck.
Was it hard for you to play Craterhoof Behemoth? I know you tried to stay away from it.
It was. You suggested
Yeah,
it, and then I started kind of like, yeah, I think I need this.
Yeah, because your creatures are huge, and frick, that's your game winner right there.
Yeah.
All right, and
some
then
removal ones.
this package is more with what is this one for?
It's just removal.
Just removal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, here we go.
Pelucranos.
You didn't want me to try? World Eater, and that it can become monstrous if you tap green and X, and when it becomes monstrous, it deals X damage divided any way you choose any target creatures, or no, it's just your creatures, right? Among any number of target creatures your opponent. Yep.
Your opponents.
Each of those creatures deals damage to its power to this.
So the thought here is it's a 4-drop, and so it could be a 5/5. But if you play this turn 4, Nikya turn 5, turn 6, you have 12 mana available to be able to deal 1
3
into 10. It'd be 5 damaged, and he's spread out anywhere you want, and it's a 10/10 then. So
yeah. Wait. It deals X damage
of XX, and so if you're paying 11, 1 is green, and then 5 and 5.
Yeah, so 5.
And so it'd be a 10/10, and it's dealing 5 damage. And if you're killing 10 power, that's perfectly fine as well. You're going to make sure that you're dealing or killing creatures.
And then you got Walking Ballista, which you can add counters to it. And if you have that much mana, you'll be able to add a ton of counters to it.
Yep.
And they can remove them at any point to do 1 damage to any target creature or player.
And you can pay 4 to add another counter to it. Again, another mana sink, which is important.
And then Steel Hellkite, which is basically going to get through and kill anything pretty much that you're hitting that player with, each non-land permanent. So it's a good way to destroy creatures, artifacts, enchantments, all that fun stuff.
This is my anti-counterspell.
Nice. I like this. This is my favorite package. So Vexing Shusher, and we've talked about that one before, but it is
2/2, and you can hybrid Gruul.
Yep.
And target spell can't be countered.
Yep.
And it can't be countered. Now, the nice thing is, if there's a dickhead counterspell player, you can protect everybody.
Yeah, so you can make it so. Because, it does say target spell can't be countered by spells or abilities. So, you can be like, oh, you're going to counter them? No, you're not. Then Dosen, the Falling Leaf, which is players can play spells only during their own turns. I like that as well.
And then these are probably my 2 most tap for mana creatures, and they're pretty sweet.
So Shaman of Forgotten Ways, which you can add 2 mana of any color. You can tap it to give you 2 mana of any combination of colors to your mana pool. Spend this mana to cast creature spells.
And you can pay 11, tap it. If you have Formidable. And then everybody's life total becomes the amount of creatures they have.
That's pretty sick.
So you can kind of stop those life gain decks and bring them down to...
It's that biorhythm, isn't that
which is banned.
Banned, yeah. So.
And you easily get Formidable in this deck, and you easily get 11 mana in this deck. And normally, you have enough power on board if they don't have enough blockers to just get through and kill them.
That's pretty crazy. I like that a lot. That gets rid of some of the life-gaining stuff and all that. And then you have Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, and she has whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. So you're banking on that your stuff is bigger than everybody else. And then so other players won't be able to draw because you're having the bigger creatures.
Yeah.
And then it does have add mana to your mana pool so it's tap 1 green, tap it, add X mana to your mana pool in any combination where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So
no matter what, it's going to give you 2, but you're paying a green. You know what? We actually did miss Dose in the Falling Leaf
I
is
said it.
anti-counter spell. Oh, is it?
Yep, I said
Okay.
it.
I missed that.
Yeah, you were going to your next package. You just keep playing
I'm
with
just
your
trying to be
package.
This is my flash package here.
So Yeva, Nature's Herald. I don't know why I said that.
That's Little John's fault, definitely.
Yeah. 2 and 2 green, 4/4 flash. You may cast green creature cards as though they had flash, and then Winding Canyons makes it so you can play creature cards whenever you play instance.
So that allows you to be able to kind of
a reserve list card.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just want to save yourself if somebody's gonna wrath or kill you, or you can flash
Plus,
in and block.
That's a way for this deck to do creature killing because you could flash it in and block.
Like, oh,
and
you don't
kill.
have any blockers.
Yeah.
And then this is my fight package.
Your fight package, Gruel.
First rule about fight package:
Don't talk
you
about
don't talk about it. So let's not talk about it.
Yeah, we don't have to. We can just move
Whatever,
it. But Gruel, Rage Beast. When it enters the battlefield or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature fights target creature an opponent controls. And it's a 7-drop, and then you have Ulvenwald Tracker, and that you can tap 2 target creature you control fights another target creature.
Yeah. And so moving on to my other mana doublers.
Oh, so you're gonna double.
You can can even quadruple the amount or triple the amount of a land production.
It's
pretty sweet.
sick. So Vorinclex, which Voice of Hunger is a really good card. Did we have this as our core cards?
I'm sure we had. We've had all the Praetors as core cards.
Yeah. So that one just doubles your mana, and then opponents, when they tap their land for mana, it doesn't untap on their next untap phase.
Which is mean.
But it's good.
You're already so one-dimensional with all the creatures. You need to be mean.
And then Regal Behemoth, which is a really good card. I'm hoping we can finally get Monarch in there.
That was.
I hope we finally get to see it. So if you're the Monarch, you double your mana. And then I think that's it with it, right?
And then Monarch is if you are the Monarch at the end of your turn, you draw a card. So when you play it, you will draw a card at the end of that turn.
And your mana's doubled right there.
And it's a little bit of redundancy if people are aiming at Nikya. Like if somebody's wasting all their stuff on Nikya and then you play Vorinclex, you got them.
Yeah, you got another way of doing it. Nice.
A little haste package. I got a couple lands in there. And then
so the Red Praetor, which is the Urabrask. The Hidden, which gives your stuff haste, and then opponent's stuff enters tapped. And then it's Org Battle Driver. Ogre. So this one, your creatures enter the battlefield, and they get 2+0 and haste. So it gives them a little bit of a front.
Now these ones are really kind of important, and I've debated on putting more creatures that give all your creatures haste as well in here, because there are times where if you've ramped a ton and then you play Nikya, and if you're able to, that turn still develop like 12 mana, or the next turn, you can lay 4 or 5 huge creatures down that just surprise the crap out of people. But you could even, Ogre into 8, 9, 10,
Org.
12. Org. So you can Org and Craterhoof Behemoth the turn after you play Nikya with 6 mana.
That'd be crazy.
That's 8 and 4, and so Behemoth gets +2/+0 in haste. It already has haste anyway, but then they all get +X. It can get really crazy. And then this last little package is just a bunch of one-offs that I found pretty powerful.
So Myojin, the Life's Web, what that does is it comes in with a divinity counter on it, and it's indestructible as long as it has the divinity counter. You can remove it, put any number of creatures cards from your hand into play.
You can empty your hand like crazy. And again, if you cast that spell and then remove the counter that turn, if you have a haster in play, they all get haste. And so you can just unload your hand and attack for a ton.
That's crazy, yeah. Nullstone Gargoyle, it's a 9-drop, 4/5. Whenever the first non-creature spell each turn is played, counter that spell.
It never affect you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Duskwatch Recruiter, awesome card. So if you have a lot of mana, you can start filtering through and getting your creatures and stuff.
Again, that's another one that works really well with the Myojin. Because if you go Myojin, wait till the next turn, and then that turn you use up like 9, 12 mana, get 4 more creatures into your hand, and then drop them all with the Myojin pretty easy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then Captivating Crew, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. So you're taking
another mana sink that allows you to
just keep taking their whole board, and then you can attack through. Seedborn Muse, we all know what that does.
Untaps all your permanents. And again, if you have those mana sinks, you can gain a lot of advantage there. Then
Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs, 3 and a red. It is a 5/4 Org Warrior.
You're like org. Oh,
we have to make a token card that's an org. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, get a 3/3 org creature token onto the battlefield.
It's an ogre. Don't listen to him.
You're getting confused now.
You're it up.
You get to put a 3/3 ogre onto the battlefield unless that player pays 3, and it's for each creature. So
and that's the one thing that I don't think I ever noticed up until I think my Xancha deck. I probably until after that, but for every creature that attacks you, they have to pay 3.
Yeah,
and then for every creature that they don't pay 3 for, you get that ogre. That feels really good.
I thought for a second there you thought you said it wrong. Wait, is it supposed to be org?
No, I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Nice.
That's the general gist of the deck.
It seems pretty sweet. It's funny though, because like I said, I'm going through in my head. I'm like, oh, you could add this, and I'm like, that's not a creature. It's not a creature. I think you could put in end raise though.
Oh, sure. I'm for sure gonna try and fit it in there. Because I think it's a really cool card.
Keeping that vigilance and still doing kind of what Craterhoof does.
Yeah, I have a really hard time saying, oh, this card's going to be here and believe that it's going to be good without testing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I don't have it in hand, I'm not like a real digital person. If you've been listening to this podcast, I don't really do. I like my photos in my albums. And
remember, he just got out of his flip phone.
Yeah. I like cash in my wallet.
That's so weird. I don't carry cash at all anymore.
That's fine. I like to have a 20 on me.
Yeah. So my wallet is my phone because it has my cards in it.
I do not use my phone.
Yeah, I know you don't.
So
what was it we were talking a couple months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, just buy whatever with your phone, and you're like, no, that's
no
I'm
way.
Like, way to sound like an old man.
Yep.
You're like, I've never used my phone to buy anything. I'm like, that's how I buy everything.
I don't auto pay my bank from my bank account or anything. Some people call me weird, but I like to just say that I'm new fashioned.
So yeah, we're going to test these decks out, I don't know, next couple weeks maybe, but you're about to go on.
I'm going to be gone, so we'll double cast next week probably.
Yeah. And then we'll probably
we won't have time.
We'll probably do it until when you come back, and we'll kind of talk about how the decks go. So yeah, mine will be Teysa next week. I kind of have an interesting twist. I don't think I haven't seen anybody else's decks, but I don't think people are doing what I'm doing.
No, you're super original. I haven't seen what you're doing either.
Well, but I kind of gave you the idea of what I was doing like
sure. Oh, yeah. You did tell me. Sorry.
So, yeah, all right. Should we move into Smith Specs?
We can do that. I don't was there anything else I wanted to mention on it? Like I feel like this deck can be really powerful. Like you're throwing a ton of big creatures out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like you can become a little bit of the archenemy where like people are like, wow, that's a lot of 5/5s or like just a lot of powerful things. But you could definitely win out of nowhere with this.
But this is when we started back when we were kids. This is Little Lowery's wet dream right here. You just made this deck, and if he would have known that you were making this, oh, he'd be so proud.
There's a sorcery that I almost
snuck in.
Yeah, it's I believe it's called Primal Surge, and I think it's 10 mana, but you reveal cards. And you put every permanent into play until you get a non-permanent card.
So you play your whole deck.
So you get your whole deck. Everything gets haste because you have haste.
That would be funny.
And you just all out attack, and you hope that nobody fogs you.
Yeah.
So the thought there would be is,
but wouldn't you kill yourself?
No, you kill everybody because you're not drawing. It's revealing the top card, and if it's a permanent, it comes into play. So you do your entire deck.
So you reveal until so when there's nothing left.
When there's nothing left, then you're just like, okay, that effect ends. I'm moving to my attack phase. You have Kessig Wolf Run that will be able to trample.
Are we about to do another We Were Wrong segment?
No,
here?
No. No, it's a common thing. Like a lot of people put this in Rurik Thar, which is going to be a permanent heavy deck, and almost a creature heavy deck as well. But that card would be pretty fun, but you'd have to work hard too. I think you'd have to add more sacrifice outlets in there, because you'd like use all of your mana to get to 10 and potentially more, but then you got to get rid of Nikya as well and then cast the sorcery. So like it was going to be more work, and I just avoided that.
And you said all creatures, so
yeah, I did.
You stuck to your guns.
And I just think Scout's honor. That's how you do it, right?
I don't know. I never was in Boy Scouts.
I wasn't either.
So we're just, and no one's seen what you're doing right now anyways.
Yeah, I went camping
You just put
once.
2 fingers up.
It was good.
2 in the pink.
Pretty sure they don't know what that means. They're Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Oh, gross. All right, so let's move into Smith Spec. Smith Specs of the week, guys. This week, I guess I'll start. I have it listed as that. So, my first 2 are kind of dealing with what we saw with the pre-release stuff. So one of the cards that I really liked, and we thought this could.
Thinking about it, I probably should have been a Boy Scout, especially off of what I said.
Why is that?
They never see the thing.
Nice. Well, you have a kid to prove it.
They don't have a man Scouts.
All right. So my first one is Light Up the Stage, and I'm more focused. Actually, I had both. I put foil on there, but you could also go for the regulars. I'm hoping for this one to drop under 5 for foils, and then picking up the non-foils for maybe 75 cents, 50 cents to 75 cents. I just think this card is a really freaking good card, and I don't think it's going to be in standard like crazy, but I think it could be used in other formats as well. Even in Commander, I think it could be used.
Yeah, I was thinking this would be really good in that Niv Mizzet deck that you built.
Oh, yeah.
Or even in like the standard Niv Mizzet thing, where it's just kind of like you're casting it, you're going to draw a card, ping.
Actually, I did go against somebody in Arena that was doing that. Like, it wasn't Niv Mizzet, but it was just all direct damage, and they played this. They were just hitting me. Like, it was crazy how much draw they got into it.
It seems really powerful, and I think it'd be good in Commander as well. Just 1 red, potentially drawing 2 cards. That's
could you
really
see?
Good.
Could you think this could go in Modern?
Modern.
Because what? People use Faithless Looting,
Yes.
right?
Well, Faithless Looting
but that
is
has the
to
discard.
enable graveyard strategies.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it gets exiled, and then you have... Is it exiled?
Yeah, it's exiled, and then you have until next turn.
Until your end of your next turn.
I think this is very good. I can see it.
Yeah.
I'd play it.
Yeah.
Because I don't play Modern, but...
Yeah, I'd play it.
I'd play it. I could say that. It's total bullshit. I don't know.
But yeah, so like I said, I'm looking for this card, Light Up the Stage, to the foils dropping under 5, hoping they start to drop a little bit. Right now, they're about $6.
It does seem really powerful.
Yeah.
So that's what I would put it at. I can easily see people playing it, and I would compare it to other cards that draw you 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is card advantage straight up, and it's cheap because you're going to be able to get damage in that style of deck. So,
and then, like I said, if you pick up the non-foils, I bet
they're
it's
around $1 right now.
Yeah, if you can get them for 75 cents, I think this will get up to a couple bucks, maybe $1 or $2 if it gets used in standard, especially.
Yeah, I wouldn't just give them away. Trade them if you get a play set. Might be able to sell them for like $8 down the road.
If you go to a card store and you find them in the common and uncommon section, pick these bad boys up.
Absolutely.
All right, next one, Lowery.
This one's a little bit of a story, but I'm going to say Forced Fruition foil. So what I was right now it's sitting around like $14-15. And that's, I picked up a couple at that price. But the weird thing that I was kind of like comparing and contrasting against Card Kingdom, TCG, and Goldfish. And Goldfish and TCG had the foil at $14. And that made total sense. But Card Kingdom had their regulars sitting around $17, $18. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Why would they do that? And I was like, well, I did bring it up with Smothering Tithe. And, when somebody plays a card, they're drawing 7, you're getting 7. Like, they're not going to be able to keep up with that.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
And I feel like that's them kind of hedging their bets on making sure that Forced Fruition isn't bought out from them. They see it going up. And so that's more of like, I wouldn't go a whole ton into it, but
a couple copies.
Picking up a couple foil is not going to be a bad thing, and regulars probably aren't a bad idea either. They're sitting around 7-ish. And again, this is a really good card in Nekasar, which is a really popular commander deck. So Goldfish says that it's at $10.
But you were seeing them at 7.
Yeah, and even if Card Kingdom's pricing is a little off, it's still a good buy if you have a non-foil at 10 and the foil at 14, 15. Like, that disparity isn't right. If it's a $10 card, your general guessing, or like, it should be at 2.5 times multiplier, which puts that at a $25 card.
So it's a little underpriced right now, and it's an
foil.
old set too.
Yep.
I mean, from Lorwyn.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I can definitely.
I would
see
say
that.
either way, the foil of Force Fruition is underpriced.
Yeah. Sweet. My next one is another one from the Ravnica Allegiance, and that is this. I just saw this card being played, and I think it's such a good card for Commander. But Theater of Horrors, it's another draw engine for red and black. It's an enchantment. The one color is red-black. At the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top card of your library. If a person or an opponent lost life this turn, you may play the exiled card. So even if it's a land, you can play it. That's the thing, is if it said cast, you wouldn't be able to play the land. And then its other abilities, you can tap 3 and a red and deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So you're able to actually activate this ability so you can start to play the card. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the foils because I think this is more of a commander card. I want these foils to drop down below 5. So this is kind of a different week for specs. It's more of keep an eye on these to drop, and when they start dropping down below that target, this one I think is more of a commander card. Pick that up when it gets below 5.
Yeah.
Foils are for pimping out decks. Standard doesn't use foils as much, so that's why they do, but
Commander is a long-term driver on so many cards.
And so if I just think that this card is really good for a 3-drop that you're getting 2 cards every turn pretty much. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't say you can pick any of the cards that are in that exile from that whenever you go to cast. So
it does seem like a really powerful card.
All right, your next pick.
I went with Duskwatch Recruiter, just kind of going from my deck, like looking at it and going, this is a really solid card in this style of deck, but I know it's also played in Modern, and I think there's more and more work that's being done on that deck of Duskwatch Recruiter, which turns into infinite mana, which goes and searches for your Emrakul, and then you play Emrakul. Yeah, and this has to be in that deck.
It's an amazing card, like even in Commander with everything too. Like I put that in so many decks, being able to go and filter out your top, and it's in a couple Modern decks, like you were just
and so it's at sitting around $1. That seems like a really decent price for an uncommon. That's 2 mana 2/2 that has an ability that can turn into a it does a lot of things for that amount of investment. So. Mm-hmm. I can easily seeing this doubling up to 2. If I can see this being a $4 or $5 card in the long run. Yeah, because they're not going to reprint it because it's a flip card and stuff like that too. It's a lot harder. Yeah, unless they do FTV fucking flip cards again. God damn them.
All right, my last one actually. So we typically don't like I listen to MTG Fast Finance. Those guys do a good job. When they make picks, I try not to use their picks, but this one I think is a very good pick. It's not that I don't like their picks, I just don't want to repeat kind of thing.
We don't want to copy.
But a lot of times we'll have our picks in there.
A lot of times we'll have our picks in.
Are you trying to repeat?
We're repeating. That's what we're trying not to do, right? There's an echo.
But Travis Allen from the MTG Fast Finance picked this week, and I looked into it, and I was like, that's actually, I think, is a really good pick. There's still a little bit of inventory, but it's Ancestral Vision. The Iconic Master Foils is what I'm looking at. And kind of the thought with this one, and we're already seeing that with the Wheel of Fate, is because of Electro Dominance is gonna be a card. I mean, that card is so good. We talked about that when we did the pre-release stuff, or not, when we did the spoilers and everything. When we came to that card, it was so. What ends up happening is you cast Electro Dominance, and then you're able to cast this for free. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. You can not even pay the mana cost for it. You can tap 2 red and then 0, and you can cast this and draw 3 cards. So the thing with this is the foils are sitting at about, I picked up 3 or 4 of them, but I got them for under 20. And if you compare that to, I know it's from Time Spiral, which is another old set, but the foils on that are 90. So the inventory on
That's
this
different.
Yeah, the inventory on, and this is different art. I actually personally like this art better than the original art. You don't?
Well, the other has nostalgic value because it's like harkening back to ancestral recall.
Yeah.
So this is it's good. It's good art. That's fine.
So just to kind of give you an idea, I bought mine, and then the inventory on TCG was up in the 70s or something like that. I just looked today; it's down to the 50s. So this card is getting bought out, not bought out, but it's being bought. I mean, that's 20 copies
targeted
over the last couple
days. As you were saying, like the red suspend one, the white suspend one, jumped up to like $20-ish.
Yeah.
And they were down around $5 before that. The black one was already $20. And so
is that Living End?
Living End, yeah. And then the green one's banned in Modern. So that's not going to happen.
I'm just piggybacking on his pick because I actually think this is a good pick, and it's going to be a short-term game. I think it actually is going to happen pretty quick if people start jumping on with Electro Dominance, and it becomes a deck in Modern. This could go way up.
It creates a very interesting, different deck to run. So I think it'd be solid.
So yeah. All right, your last pick, Lowery.
It's going to be Discovery / Dispersal, which is from Guilds of Ravnica. Mostly the Discovery part. You see it in a ton of decks. And this is colorless, Dimir hybrid. You get to surveil 2 and then draw a card. It's sitting around 84 cents on Goldfish right now. And I think this card is just as good as Chart a Course, if not better. And because it can go in a mono black deck instead of blue X. It can go in a blue deck and can go in a black deck. It's more versatile. It has a split card, so if you don't need to, you can use the other ability on it. And Chart a Course right now is $2.50. And so this I can see easily hitting $2. This is just as good as that. And I actually see Discovery hit more modern decks, I believe, as well. So I think this is pretty underpriced at this point. I can easily see it getting to $2 to $3 as an uncommon.
And the foils are at $4 too. So I mean, that's not a bad buy either.
Yeah.
If it becomes a modern card.
Yeah, if it's getting played more and more in modern, I think that $4 or $5 is a perfectly fine price.
Yeah, there's 6 decks that are using it in modern right now. Yeah. So sweet. All right. Well, that's that. No, tell me more about this Bop. I didn't even know they were being reprinted.
So they did release the guild kits from. Yeah. I believe it's going to be reprinted in the Gruul guild kit. I'm not 100% because I just was like, oh, Bop, perfect.
So were you just waiting for the reprint?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you know that there was a reprint coming?
No.
So you just had that waiting.
I don't have any. Yeah, it could have been in my pocket for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And I would have been like, if you sang it, I would have been like, motherfucker. So, I've been sitting on that one for at least 6 months right now.
What art are they using for it? The one that they always have been? Okay.
Check that part.
Right.
I don't know. So, right. But yeah, the guild kits, I'll link that too. We haven't talked about it. We haven't even looked through it really. I just, I think it's okay. Each one of them, do they have a good card? Master of Cruelties is getting a reprint in the black-red one. That's their money card in that one. Like I said, Bop in the red-green, blue-white.
Be cool if they had different art for Bop.
If I remember it.
Love Birds of Paradise.
It would be cool, yeah. Birds of Paradise always keep Birds of Paradise. It's such a sweet card.
Doesn't matter how many copies you have of that. Keep them all.
It's so pretty.
All right, well, that'll do it for this week. You guys can follow us or whatever on Twitter at
CommanderSmiths. I waited.
You can email us at Gmail
at CommanderSmiths.
And you can also subscribe to us, like our stuff on YouTube.
At CommanderSmiths.
You can check out our video. We will have that. If it isn't posted now, or you're listening on Monday or Tuesday, give it till about Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll have that video up and running of the box opening
and
if
you're
the
in the way
mixer.
Future, it's up.
Yeah, correct.
Winky face.
Well, yeah, why are you winking at me?
Winky face. Just saying.
Nice. All right. Do you want to talk more?
No. It's time to go home.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. How are we ending this?
Thanks for listening.
All right. We'll see ya.
Bye.
See ya.
No, I already said bye.
See ya.
Gee, idiot.
It almost sounds like the Sega.
Sega.
See ya. All right.
Best system ever.
No. Super Nintendo.
No.
Nintendo.
Sega was way better.
No.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
No, you're crazy.
You're crazy, man.